Khutulun, the warrior princess who never lost a fight. There was a warrior in the Mongol Empire who never lost a single fight, not once. This warrior was a woman. Her name was Khutulun. By the time she died, she had defeated over 1,000 men in combat, accumulated a fortune of 10,000 horses, and struck fear into the hearts of enemy armies across Central Asia. This is her story. Chapter 1. The birth of a legend. The year is 1260. The Mongol Empire is at its peak, stretching from China to the doorstep of Europe. It's the largest land empire in human history. Into this world of endless war and conquest, a girl is born. Her name is Khutulun. Her father is Kaidu Khan, a direct descendant of Genghis Khan himself, one of the most powerful warlords in Central Asia. Khutulun has 14 brothers. 14. In a warrior culture like the Mongols, the sons would typically get all the attention, all the training, all the glory. But Khutulun was different. From the moment she could walk, she refused to stay inside doing women's work. She wanted to ride horses, she wanted to shoot arrows, she wanted to fight. And somehow, against all odds, her father said yes. Maybe he saw something special in her eyes. Maybe he recognized that burning determination. Whatever the reason, Kaidu Khan made a decision that would change history. He let his daughter train as a warrior. Chapter 2. Becoming unstoppable. The Mongols didn't mess around with training. This wasn't some hobby, this was survival. Khutulun learned to shoot a bow while riding at full gallop. She mastered wrestling, the most sacred sport in Mongol culture. She trained with swords, spears, and axes, hour after hour, day after day, year after year. She wasn't just good, she was exceptional. By the time she hit her teenage years, Khutulun had grown tall and incredibly strong. Marco Polo, the famous Venetian explorer who traveled through these lands, actually wrote about her. He described her as being so powerful and skilled that no man in her father's entire kingdom could match her. The Mongol Empire, the greatest military force on the planet, millions of warriors. And this young woman was already being talked about as one of the best. But Khutulun's story was just getting started. Chapter 3. The Challenge. As Khutulun reached her 20s, suitors started showing up. Princes, nobles, wealthy khans, all wanting to marry into her powerful family. But Khutulun had zero interest in some arranged marriage, so she made her father an offer he couldn't refuse. She would only marry a man who could beat her in wrestling. Any man who lost would have to give her 100 horses. Her father agreed, probably thinking someone would beat her eventually, and she'd get married like she was supposed to. He was wrong. Word spread across the entire empire. Warriors came from everywhere, experienced fighters who had never lost, champions who had won countless matches, princes who brought massive herds of horses, absolutely confident they would win. And one by one, Khutulun destroyed them all. She didn't just beat them, she dominated them, threw them to the ground like they were children. Match after match after match. Her herd of horses grew. 100 horses, 500, 1,000, 5,000. The most famous match involved a prince who was so confident he wagered 1,000 horses instead of the usual 100. That's like betting $1 million today. A huge crowd gathered. Her parents actually begged her to let him win because he was such a good political match. Khutulun walked into that circle, and within minutes, that prince was flat on his back staring at the sky. 1,000 horses richer, Khutulun walked away. By the time she was done, sources say she owned over 10,000 horses. She had become wealthy beyond measure, and she had done it entirely on her own terms. She never lost, not once, in her entire life. Undefeated champion. Chapter 4. The battlefield Khutulun wasn't just a wrestler, she was a warrior. Her father Kaidu was fighting a massive rebellion against his cousin Kublai Khan, who ruled the Mongol Empire from China. These weren't small skirmishes, these were full-scale wars with thousands of soldiers, and Khutulun rode right into the thick of battle. Khutulun would charge at full speed, on horseback directly into enemy formations. Then, in the chaos of battle, she would reach out and literally pluck enemy warriors right off their horses, as if they weighed nothing, and carry them back as prisoners. Imagine being an enemy soldier in the middle of a battle. Arrows flying, swords clashing, absolute chaos. Then you see this warrior charging at you. Before you can react, you're yanked off your horse and being carried away like a sack of grain. The psychological warfare alone was devastating. Soldiers were terrified of her. Kaidu didn't just bring Khutulun along for show. He actually listened to her advice on military strategy. She sat in war councils with generals and khans, planning campaigns, making decisions that affected thousands of lives. In a world dominated entirely by men, Khutulun had earned a seat at the table through pure competence. Chapter 5. The Succession Crisis. As Kaidu got older, he made a decision that shocked everyone. He wanted to make Khutulun his heir, his successor, the ruler of his entire Khanate. He declared publicly that this daughter of his was better than all his sons. This is the 1290s. Women had almost no rights anywhere in the world. And here's Kaidu Khan saying his daughter should rule after him. It was revolutionary, it was unprecedented, it was impossible. Because even though Kaidu supported her, even though she was clearly the most capable, the nobles and tribal leaders would never accept it. Her 14 brothers certainly wouldn't accept it. The entire system was built on male succession. Khutulun understood the reality. If she accepted, it would mean civil war. Brothers against sister. Khan against Khan. Thousands would die. So she declined, even though she had earned it, even though she deserved it. The weight of tradition was too heavy, even for someone as strong as Khutulun. She remained her father's most trusted advisor, but she would never rule. Chapter 6. The Mysterious End. In 1301, Kaidu Khan died from battle wounds, and everything Khutulun had built started to crumble. Her brothers immediately moved to take power. The protection her father had provided was gone. Court politics turned vicious. Some sources say Khutulun tried to support one of her brothers for the succession, hoping to maintain some influence. Others say she was pushed aside entirely. And then, around 1306, Khutulun disappears from history. No clear records of how she died. Some historians think she died naturally. Others believe she may have been assassinated by rivals who feared her popularity and skill. There are whispers of poison, of conspiracy, of a warrior too dangerous to be allowed to live. We'll probably never know the truth. What we do know is this: Khutulun was probably in her mid-40s when she died. And in that relatively short life, she had accomplished more than most warriors could dream of in 10 lifetimes. Why don't we know her name? Why isn't Khutulun taught in history classes? Why aren't there movies about her? Why has this incredible story been forgotten? She defeated over 1,000 opponents and never lost. She rode into battle and struck fear into entire armies. She was deemed worthy to rule an empire. She lived on her own terms in an age when women had no voice in their own destinies. Khutulun was one of the greatest warriors of the medieval period, male or female. And it's time her story was told.